Sorry for the delay. I've been doing some soul searching and trying to find a game that I think works and fits what I can do right now, technologically, as well as in my time period and crunch between now and graduation. So I came up with this idea called Scared Speechless. Scared Speechless is a choose-your-own-adventure and speed brawler at the same time. Target rating is M for mature, Mac and Windows, Steam and itch. I would say about 3 hours, depending on how long I can make the game by then. You are having the worst week ever. Your boyfriend or girlfriend is angry at you, your boss is pissed at you, your parents won't stop nagging you, the list never ends. You must literally chip away at your anxiety to make big decisions and change your life. If the time runs out, your anxiety gets the better of you and you're powerless to do anything. The idea of this is that you're combining a choose-your-own-adventure and brawler where they're happening at the same time. You're choosing dialogue options based off of gems that you find in the world. You must fight through enemies and chip away at your anxiety to progress. Your main weapon is your dash when you're expelling energy to better deal with your anxiety, and the frantic, fast-paced gameplay will get your heart pumping and actually almost feels somewhat akin to what anxiety would feel like for gameplay. So we have the description of dialogue without any sort of background or anything like that. For regular gameplay, we have, again, the screen is divided into two sections. The top, we have the character you're talking to, and then on the right here, we have the dialogue that they have asked you. And below, we have the three different choices. So there are two different types of choices. One is you have three different gems in front of you. Each color correlates to one of the choices at the top. When you destroy that gem, it picks that particular choice at the top. The other way is on big decisions, there would be two major choices that you could pick from, but these gems would be scattered throughout the level that you would have to find them and get them. Depending on how much impact they would be either farther away or closer to you based off of whether they're an easy choice or a hard to make choice. The third option is not to do anything, again, metaphorically trying to talk about how anxiety can be crippling and can make things really bad for you. The third choice could also be something that would hurt the player, so it would always be like an evil choice or a bad choice, some sort of thing like that. Again, you have a bunch of different mechanics to kind of go through the world at the bottom while you're waiting for the thing at the top. So you have a sword or a slash mechanic sort of thing where you're slashing different gems and you're essentially chipping away at the gems and your anxiety, again being a really big metaphor for chipping away at your anxiety. So when you're going through, you would be chipping away with this little slash mechanic. You would also fight enemies with this slash mechanic. But the main thing here would be dash. Again, expelling sort of energy, trying to find a healthy way to explore those sorts of feelings of anxiety. We have the dash mechanic. So dash comes in multiple different types of dash. I believe as you go through the story, you might discover them as a nice way to kind of introduce everything. So we have normal, we have bomb dash, which you can see at the bottom over here, is that when you dash away, you leave a bomb in your stead. You have the surrounding dash. So what you can up to 4 times dash and create these little lines. And what they'll do is if you create a matching set that actually creates a shape, it'll actually create a shape and it will explode and destroy any enemies inside of it. I'm hoping to also have an ice dash that will also freeze enemies as you dash through them. But I'm also thinking of other types of dash mechanics that would work with this. Again, the idea is that it's very frantic and very crazy, and you're kind of like moving very, very quickly to kind of go through the level, and you have this time pressure and this time crunch. Again, trying to replicate that feeling of anxiety in the actual game. So for art direction, I would like to keep the horror sort of element here at the bottom in this sort of top-down adventure with gems and things like that. The dark sort of cel-shaded was really something I really enjoyed and really liked. And it kind of has that same anxiety horror element to it. At the top, I wanted to do something I'm capable of, so I was hoping to do some sort of pixel art to try and keep both the real world and the anxious world kind of separate in both motif and art direction. So the map layout would be procedural. I'm hoping to do something similar that they do in like Enter the Gungeon, where you have multiple different rooms that are essentially a big grid that you are creating from the grid, different gems, as well as different locations where things would actually end up being and going. It would also be able to stem sort of enemies in those grids and other things like that. So let's talk and show you some of the demo, so here I'm going to spacebar through and get through some of the dialogue here. We pop up here. Again, we have the different options at the top. They correlate to these 3 gems. I can go and I can slash to the gems. I can also proceed through the dialogue by pressing the spacebar. They ask, "Are you happy?" I click "Not really," and then they say thank you for saying that, and then you can kind of keep going on. Now let's show you some of the dash mechanic. So the idea with the dash is we have the bomb dash. Oh, sorry, that is the regular dash. We have the shape dash, where you can create a shape based off of where you have dashed. So it goes up to 4, and it will create a particular shape based off of it. I'm still working off some of the little bugs, like the picking the correct vector points, but it works pretty well. And it does kill enemies if they're inside of it. We also have the bomb mechanic, where you will go and destroy things based off of the bomb that you left. So this is a great way to kind of, again, move very quickly, but also destroy a lot in a very quick time. This is a good point to bring up that the dash itself is rechargeable, and you can only do it for a certain amount before it needs to be recharged. The recharge is here at the top. I think it makes the most sense to have it recharge based off of collectibles that you get by destroying gems. And then the regular dash is just right now just a regular dash. Again, I think depending on what dash you choose, the more it would go take away from the meter at the top or not take away, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, that's what I have. Thank you for listening. Have a good day. Bye.